I'm going to the mall today. Not to shop. I'm actually not a big fan of shopping, but I'm meeting up with this person who's interested in my portable LED light. In order to make this trip more worthwhile, I'm going to bring my Ricoh GR III with me to the mall because I think there will be a lot more people to take photos of compared to the street. I feel like Houston is not exactly street friendly. I still do take photos around the street all the time, but it's just not spontaneous and fast-paced like the big cities. You know, New York City, Tokyo, London, and Taipei. Everything on the street just keeps on changing. Everyone is trying to get to places all the time. And I find that very attractive, especially for street photography. As expected, there were a lot of people inside the mall just shopping and doing their stuff. The transaction with the Craigslist guy went pretty well. He saw the product, he liked it, and then we just exchanged right away. So I went on with my photo walk inside the mall. At one point of me taking photos inside the mall, I realized that I forgot to change my orange ring into the black one. And this actually caused a lot of attention, like unwanted attention, because the orange ring is just really hard to ignore. It's so bright, and I can't believe I forgot to change this before I go. But yeah, lesson learned. Don't get me wrong though, I still think the orange ring looks really nice, but if you want to be really stealthy, and plus when you're so close to people, probably ditch the orange ring, because I have seen people just keep on looking at me like, okay, what are you doing with that orange ring? You know, that camera to be exact. To my surprise, I was actually there at the right time. Well, kind of. The sun was able to penetrate through the building and creates a whole bunch of shadows that I can play around with. However, it was still quite hard to find the perfect location to camp out. I did find one and noticed that the traffic over there just wasn't enough. Oh, I think I just found this perfect shadow over here. I'm gonna camp out here just to wait. But then again, there's not much traffic going on here. This might be a problem. I'm gonna have to wait for a while, I think. This is gonna take for a long time. Like seriously, no one's walking past out here. This is kind of sad. I only got one person so far. One person. Come on, guys. Because apparently people don't like to walk under the sun. Even though it's already like within the building, most of the people still try to avoid walking under the sun. I guess, I mean, it is pretty hot, but... Oh, this guy must be bored by shopping. I would be too. I'm just glad I came with the camera. And even though I'm not really shopping, but you know. Now, another thing that I'm really in love with the Ricoh GR III is that I can really just, you know, point this at people and just take photos of them, and they wouldn't really notice, and at the same time, they're not offended by it. They would just look at you and like, okay, what is that orange thing? And then walk away. Nobody ever really looked twice and then tried to figure out what that is. And if they did, I mean, it's a camera and it looks like a point and shoot camera. It's not really, it's really harmless, like the way it looks. It's very tiny. It does not look professional at all. I mean, even though it does produce really good images. And I think that is a huge plus, especially if you want to capture moments, like very candid moments, and you don't want the subject to look very confused and stressed at the same time. This is perfect. As As I was camping out for photos today, I realized that a flip-out screen might be a good idea for the next generation, maybe, as well as weather resistant for this camera, because like I've noticed that there's actually a lot of dust around, like, yeah, since I've been putting this in my pocket all the time, it's very noticeable with all the dust and lint. Alright, so that was a lot of fun. There was definitely a lot more people than I expected. Like, I knew there were gonna be people in the mall, at the mall, but yeah, that was a bit too much. I'm actually really happy that I was able to find a lot of shadows, especially since the day is so good today. The sun it's just really hot, but that actually created a lot of opportunities inside the malls for me to take photos of. Now, as for the biggest question, well, for me at least, should I get the 40? Should I get the GR IIIx? I actually do like the 28. It's growing on me. Like, I'm really used to the 35, even the 50, and I think those works great on the street, especially for Houston. The streets are big, everything's very far away, and using a 35 and 50, it just makes sense. Like, everything, I don't know, it just fit in Houston. However, if you're using a 28 on the street, oftentimes I'll try to crop to a specific place where I actually want to frame the photos, because it's just way too far for me to take the photos of that subject of the street. Now, on the other hand, we have the 28. It actually works really well inside the building, especially today when I'm at the mall, because everything is so close to me. The 28 just feels natural. Everything is like right there, and so it's just like, it just works. I do not have to worry about that I have to step backwards until to the point where I have no more rooms in order to get the shot if I was, if I were using the 50 or even the 35 or 40. But with the 28, I'll still have enough space, even though I was like way backed up to the corner, and I'll still have enough space for me to frame for the shot that I want. Especially for this shot, I was like way backed up to the wall, and like this is the closest I can get to the wall and the widest I can get on a shot by using a 28, not the 35, not the 50. If I was using a 35 or 50, I would not be able to get this kind of shot here.